Hey everybody! Welcome to the Beantown Beatdown. Matthew Burris.
Gabe Shamus.
Yep, and it's my birthday.
Matt's birthday. Whoop whoop.
Yep,
I'm in the house.
Yep, 33 years old. Not too much of a celebration because we have booze. I couldn't get the liquor today, but and also there's no cake, and also Gabe has to go to work.
Yeah, I know. What a birthday! What a birthday! But hey, you got this weekend.
Yeah, I got the weekend and stuff. So we'll see what goes on.
Yep.
And also, so now we're just gonna jump right into it. First headline of today is the Rocky films are now on Netflix.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, 5 of the Rocky movies are on Netflix.
Okay, yeah. And then I've been meaning to, to catch up or even watch some of them. So yeah, now I can.
Yeah. So what do you think was out of all the Rocky movies, what do you think which one was the best?
Well, again, I'm not as experienced as you. I don't really know. And like I said, some of them I haven't even watched.
Really? Yeah.
Believe it or not. I think Rocky 4 is a classic. I watched that, but yeah, Rocky 5, I haven't watched that. Rocky. How many are there? There are 8. 6. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, the Creed movies are spin-offs.
Right, exactly. So yeah, I think I haven't watched the last 2, 5 and 6.
And
I don't remember the number 3. I would say.
What about the first one?
Well, yeah, the first one definitely.
Okay, so you've seen the first one, the fourth one,
mm-hmm.
But 3 and 5 you don't. Well,
I don't remember 3. Is what I'm saying.
You don't remember 3.
I don't remember it. But I probably have seen 1 through 4, but I don't remember. 3, I'm not sure I remember 2.
That was the one with Mr. T.
Oh, okay. Okay. Then yeah, it's coming back to me now.
Yeah, Mr. T and also a young Hulk Hogan. Yeah, this is after Hulk Hogan's first run in back then when it was the Worldwide Wrestling Federation, and actually he got an offer to do the Rocky film, and Vince McMahon Sr. told him, like, look, you're a wrestler, not an actor. Also, you're booked to go into the Carolinas. You're going to go because it was the territorial days, and you didn't stay in that one promotion for long. It was like, Vince Sr. said, well, look, you're due to go down to the Carolinas, Jim Crockett Promotions. And he goes like, well, look, I got an opportunity to do this movie, and says, well, if you're not going to go where I tell you to wrestle, then you're not going to work here. But of course, later on after that, he went into the AWA and then back to when it was the World Wrestling Federation, and the rest is history.
All right. So yeah, there's that. But yeah, I'm excited to catch up on them on Netflix.
Oh yeah. Also, a little known fact that actually, people say that Rocky 5 is the worst of the franchise. Actually, it's really. I mean, I'm actually one of the few people out here in the world that will defend Rocky 5.
And why is that, Matt?
Well, because Rocky 5 to me was like a full circle. So it's like a full circle of like he goes from not having any money, being an underdog, then later on the films he becomes world champion, he has money,
right,
and becomes a hero,
right,
and now he's. Because of a bad financial plan by Paulie, a bad business deal. Now he's back to being his old self. He's living in the old neighborhood, and and of course he can't fight because of the brain damage. So now but he becomes a trainer.
I see.
Yeah, and of course, and plus the other thing is, I saw there's the work print. Version of it, which of course is now on a Rocky 5 DVD. It's the director's cut.
Okay.
Yeah, and the work print is where it's like the quality isn't all that good, and you see like how like the millimeters, and and all that stuff, and
yeah, they still show classic movies in 35 millimeter at the Coolidge theater. I told you that.
Yeah, but also, we see scenes that were cut from the film, and also it could have made for a better movie. Like the fight scene is different and how it's structured and stuff. And so, and as a matter of fact, it actually has the song, the Michael Bolton song, till I'm back on my feet again.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
how did that one go?
Till I'm back on my feet again. Okay. Yeah, by yeah,
totally back on my feet again. Yep, that sounds. I mean, that definitely sounds like a Rocky. The Rocky spirit. along with Eye of the Tiger, of course. But yeah, that's the back on my feet again. Sounds exactly like the Rocky spirit.
I got cut from the film. It's unfortunately because also like when I hear the song "The Final Countdown," a lot of people say that should have been in Rocky 4.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, especially when he's
like Rocky too. Well, that sounds like Rocky as well. Yeah.
Oh yeah, because like when he's in the snow and training to fight that Russian.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, and I'm one of the few people that defend that movie. I also defend Batman and Batman versus Superman, and I also defend Ninja 3 Domination. So yeah,
that one I don't know about. You're on your own there.
Yeah. But really check out the Rocky films whenever you get a chance. They're good movies.
Yep.
Especially if you're a boxing fan and a fan of Stallone. And Stallone, I mean, he just came out with Rambo, the last Rambo film. So
right.
Yeah, he's still got it.
Still kicking, literally.
Yeah, and of course, there's the Expendables 4. So that's going to be coming out soon. So. Waiting on that.
Yeah, indeed.
Yeah. And our second headline for today, Nate Diaz, of course, as we all know, he lost to Jorge Masvidal. And that was the fight that was determined the BMF champion, which is bad motherfucker.
Oh, I gotcha.
Yeah, and of course, UFC going the WWE route there.
Right.
And there was a rumor that said that Nate had retired, and of course he came out with a statement. He said, like, "I'm not retired. I can fight tomorrow." So the big question is, will Nate? What will 2020 look like for Nate Diaz as far as fighting goes?
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, he's not retired, but I mean, if I think if there's reason for people to think that you're retired, that's something in and of itself, don't you?
Well, yeah. I mean, the thing is, I mean, he's gonna have to work his way up for another big fight. I mean,
right.
I mean, he's gotten a lot. I mean, ever since he kind of went off after the Conor McGregor fight, the rematch, and of course he wants that third fight. Everybody wants that third fight, but well, I think Conor says that he is going to come back, but they're waiting until like February, and I mean, and plus with Nate Diaz, I don't see Nate Diaz getting a title shot. Anytime soon. I mean, there's already so many people ahead of him and stuff.
Gotcha. Yeah, exactly. I mean, we've talked about before on the show. We've talked about, no one to hold him and no one to fool them, and that's the whole other thing.
It's not a matter of age, I mean, he looks like he's still got it, but, I think that it's a matter of how many big paydays are left in his future.
Yeah, exactly.
He'll continue. I mean, if he fights, I mean, he won't get as big of paydays as he did in the fights with McGregor and Masvidal and all the other of the other big fights he had.
Yeah, but it's not just about the paydays. It's about it's also about how you're remembered, how you go out. We've talked about this extensively. Your legacy, basically.
Well, yeah, exactly. Because I mean, because I really don't see a title shot in his near future. And if he was to continue to fight, if he's going to continue to fight, and he's going to try to go for it, go for the title, then it's going to be a long road ahead of him, and you never know what's going to happen.
Yeah, exactly. So that's the freaking problem. I mean, really, that's the problem. Along with trying to get title shots and stuff like that. I don't know.
Well, yeah. Well, I mean, look. At the end of the day, the UFC is a business, and there's other people that have been working their asses off just to get a title shot, and you don't get title shots just for fighting for paydays, and taking time off just because you want to smoke weed.
Yeah, Exactly. And then, I think we've talked about this before too. It's also not fair to the people that have come up. You know what I mean? It's like they're looking for their first shot. You've had many shots. They're looking for their very first shot. You know what I mean? And so it's like for those type of people that are bouncing onto the scene, it's like it really is their turn. And it's like knowing when to let the next generation in, I think is a huge problem. We talked about that with fighting, and I think in politics too, this last in 2018 was a referendum on the wait your turn thing when it comes to politics. You can't just sit in the seat forever and wait until it's convenient. The next person coming up, they have their shot. They can't just wait until it's convenient, until someone steps down. They have to take their shot when their shot is here. And so there was a lot of races where someone did have to primary someone that might have been a mentor or a teacher of theirs, just because it's like you don't know when to step down. And I have worked very hard to make it here, and this is my shot now.
Well, yeah, exactly. I mean, if it was really like that, man, we'd be in trouble if Trump was president for a long time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Also, just a quick thing, with all the impeachment stuff going on and stuff.
Yeah.
What do you think? You think it's a slam dunk case? He's going to be out of there, or
right? No, it's unfortunately it's not. But I do think it's more possible than a lot of people are giving. There's a lot of people that give really good reasons for why it just absolutely will not happen in the Senate. And I think we have to be aware of that. It is a hurdle. It's not going to be a slam dunk, but I think that it's definitely possible. And I think we have to go about it the right way. We have to keep hitting things, and the idea of focusing on one thing on the Ukraine call, I don't think that's the right strategy. I think Ukraine calls damning, but we have to expand into these other things, including obstruction of justice, which he's done in public, clearly, no questions asked.
So. Yeah, I mean, God forbid, but I think if Trump gets out of this with a win, we can expect riots. People are gonna be like, "There's no justice."
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we don't want that to happen, but
no, we don't. But again, like I said, we do have to be aware of the fact that this process is. We do have to be aware of the fact that this is a hurdle, and that there is reason to say that it almost will not happen. There is reason to say that he will not be removed. It's very hard to remove a president for good reason, but the impeachment process is there for a reason as well. You know what I mean? The founders tried to think of both sides of this, and I think it will succeed the way it's supposed to. But yeah, it's very possible he will get through it, but that doesn't mean that his reputation won't be completely damaged.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? And we have to seize on that either way for the election.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. So we'll have to wait and see.
Mm-hmm.
And now we're going to get into the return of Gabe's segment, which is
the deep dive.
Yep, the deep dive.
All right.
It's going to take a while for me to
get used to that. Yeah,
yep,
that's okay.
Gabe, take it away.
All right. So this is the deep dive, where I dive into, deep into different, other sports stories you might not have heard about. Or the ones that you do hear about, let's dive in deep and kind of get to the nitty gritty. So this one is one you might not have heard about at all. There actually was a tragic accident with the college gymnast. Mila Crawford was a 20-year-old gymnast in Connecticut, Southern Connecticut University, and so she fell. I read a bunch of I read 3 or 4 stories trying to get to the bottom of this, because all but one of them did mention uneven bars. that she was, you know, swinging from the bars and everything, but that they were uneven, and you know, and so and she fell and unfortunately died, and you know, so this is a terrible, you know, story for the parents, for the school, for everyone. You know, the school is offering counseling and things like that, but I think this goes to you know, to the broader question of, you know, should there be liability in cases like this?
Yeah.
Exactly. This is a woman with all these years ahead of her. We talk about fighters on this show. That's the other thing I was meaning to, you know, I was like, I said I have to make sure I say this. We talk about fighters and things like that, and the danger that they're, you know, put through, but they sign up for that. You know what I mean? Fighters sign up for that, and it's not as dangerous as it used to be because we've insisted on certain safety, you know, precautions for them. But you know, but fighters have signed up for that. You know, a gymnast, yeah, there's risk, but you do not sign up for, you know, you do not sign up for something that could, you know, that could, in the general course of things, that you do not sign up for something that could lead to, you know, that could lead to immobility or death. You do not sign up for that.
Yeah, I mean, this is another black eye on the sport of gymnastics, and plus, you know, the sport of gymnastics also coming off that that trial with that, what's the name of that doctor? The doctor who enlisted.
Yeah, I'm not gonna remember right now. Orion.
Yeah. I mean, plus, well, the thing is about gymnastics is that, you know, the sport of gymnastics, you know, it's just you know, it's like stuff. I mean, more so for the women, it's just like stuff like this, you know, like if I ever had a daughter, I mean, I would make my daughter steer far away from gymnastics. You know, it's just like, you always hear about, you know, the coaches doing, like, you know, just bad things to them, and you know, it's just,
so yeah, there's the molestation case, which
not just molestation, but the way they help them train, and you know, the pressure, it makes them suicidal, it makes them have eating disorders, and you know, and now you have where the equipment doesn't even work. It's just like, what? At some point, you got to say, like, okay, you know what? Enough is enough.
Yeah, exactly. That's a good point. I hadn't really thought of that, but it really is unfortunate too, because like that's the other thing that like in a you know, in that you would say that you wouldn't want your daughter to be in gymnastics, because like in, you know, because like gymnastics was kind of started as one of the places where female athletes could really shine. You know what I mean? So in a better world, you know, that we would hope that gymnastics would be something you'd want your daughter to go into, because
especially the 96 team. Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, exactly. They really did shine, you know. So but yeah, so I mean, that is a good point. So yeah, so sexual harassment's a whole other thing, but yeah, in this case, it's, you know, it's probably negligence. But the weird thing is that that, like I said, I read these stories, and there was only mention of uneven bars, and then one of them said that she, you know, that this was equipment she had used hundreds of times before. So in my mind, that raises the possibility of negligence. That means she's used this before. Why, you know, did this, I mean, I know that sometimes there is just accidents, but why did this time, you know, it completely led to her death? So, you know, so that in my mind, that raises the possibility, not lowers it, that it was complete negligence. So maybe, so, you know, if any of you know about gymnastics, let me know. Maybe uneven bars is actually a thing that they do sometimes, you know, to kind of like raise the stakes. But I think, you know, that it's not something that's common, and that, you know, and that the school fucked up, basically. The facility fucked up, and, you know, if the bar was uneven because they fucked up, and that's what led to this, there should be there should be a freaking lawsuit. There should be, you know, liability for this. You know
yeah,
what I mean?
Exactly. And you know, if I was the parents, man, I'd sue that university for every single penny.
Exactly. Yeah. You know, so like I said, they're offering counseling services, whatever. But if it's their fault, bullshit, that's not enough. You know what I mean? You know, and again, I guess we won't. I guess, you know, I don't know for sure, but to hear about uneven bars and you know, and that type of thing, you know, yeah, if that's not a standard practice, then that's it. Period. End of story. You know, they fucked up. There should be liability. You know.
Yeah, exactly. Because these are girls, and we, you know, people talk about like protecting women, and I mean, and stuff like that. And you know, this is where it really needs to go. I mean, don't get us wrong. I mean, gymnastics is a beautiful sport. It's a great sport.
Yeah, like I said, it was, you know, it is beautiful. I love watching, you know, and it's like some of the best feats of, you know, human ability are there. And like I said, in a better world, we should want our daughters, our sons, whatever, to go into it, you know.
Yeah, exactly. You know, it's you know, but it's like, you know, and people like to say like, oh, it's old school and old school this and old school that. It's like, you know, but there are some things, and there are some old school things, you know, that need to be done with. You know, it's like, just because it's old school doesn't mean that it's okay.
Yeah, exactly. It's funny. I thought you were going to say that it's, you know, just because it's old school doesn't mean that it should be done away with, which is the other thing. Like, yeah, some old school things can be, you know, really great. And again, like you said, beautiful, you know, and like that type of thing. But yeah, but, you know, we have to make sure that we do have protections that are up to date, you know, for us, you know, up to date protections, you know, so that we don't have to hear about someone else dying from this, or you know, or like injuries. You know, there should not be as many injuries in I know it's kind of risky, but there should not be as many injuries in gymnastics as there are in fighting. You know what I mean?
Exactly. And there should also be, and also like, it's also some of the coaches, like, you know, in gymnastics too, and you know, well, just coaches in period, and you know, in all sports, you know, like coaches like, you know, Bill Parcell, Bob Knight, and those what's the name of those Russian coaches? Those Russian gymnastic coaches, the ones they were part of the '96 team too, and one of them, and you know, those coaches like that, those coaches like, you know, they're too old school for their own good, you know, and you know, especially with someone like Bobby Knight, you know, all the crap that he did, and, you know, it's like, this guy shouldn't. I mean, after he got I mean, he did straighten up his act when he went to Missouri. You know, we heard that, you know, he did kind of like, I mean, he was still kind of a yeller, but he, you know, it wasn't that extreme. But even still, I mean, if I was the NCAA, I would try to get him out of there. I would never have him coach another day in his life.
Yeah, exactly. Yep, indeed. And you know, and yeah, you had me think of something else there, but I don't remember right now. But yeah, I mean, so it's like, so yeah, there's the thing is, there's also not as much, you know, there's the one scandal that they don't have is like performance enhancing drugs, you know, which is which you think they might, because again, I think, you know, gymnastics and sometimes show the height, the pinnacle of human ability, and you know, whatever. So you think there might have been the scandal of performance enhancing drugs, but you know, but no, we don't hear about that. So that's, you know, that's one way that they have, you know, steered clear of it. But you have to have these other safety precautions in place.
Oh yeah, absolutely, because this is their, you know, the athletes are putting their lives in the coach's hands, and also the doctor's hands, and you know, you're held to a higher standard.
Right.
You know, it's not just about teaching the flips and, you know, and how to handle a bar or something like that. You know, it's everything. You're a coach, you're your doctor, your mom, your dad, your psychologist, you know, you're everything.
Yeah, exactly. And so, and yeah, it's almost more and it's almost more of a risk in that moment when you're in the air. It's actually, you know, you could say that that's actually one of the biggest risks there is. You know, with a fighter, at least you know this person is coming after you, you know, and all the things that they could do, you know, and that type of thing. How you could get, you know, knocked on your ass, or you know, have your face, you know, beat in or whatever. Like you know all these things. It's right there in front of you. But that moment that you're completely in the air, you know, it's like that actually might be the bigger risk of all, you know.
Oh yeah, absolutely. You know, absolutely. And you know, knowing that this is a young girl that died, and how old was she?
She was 20 years old.
20 years old. She was like a junior.
Yeah, exactly.
Wow, 1 year away from graduating too.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man.
Yeah.
I'd sue them big time.
I know. The family's completely distraught, and you know, she also was starting her career. She was helping out at a local facility as well, and you know, and that type of thing. But like, you know, yeah, I mean, it's just it's just terrible to think about. And yeah, so like I said, I was actually surprised. I was surprised that there was not talk of an investigation of, you know, of a lawsuit. Maybe there will be, you know, if more facts come out, you know, because like I said, you know, if I was the family, I would be trying to really get to the bottom of this, you know.
Oh yeah, absolutely. You know, absolutely. And plus, this is you know, on top of that. No, wait, what's the name of the school that she went to?
This is at Southern Connecticut University.
Oh, so that's like what, a D2, D3 school?
Something like that. Yeah.
Well, the thing is, that's a D2, D3. So like, I mean, I'm sure there'll probably be like a small investigation. You know, if this was like a D1 school, this would probably be in like in almost every newspaper and stuff like that.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, that's the other thing. This was just a kind of like sidebar thing. But you're right. If it was, that's kind of like also the uneven like justice system as well, and like the and like, you know, and like just, you know, the kind of uneven character practices. It shouldn't matter what type of school, you know, which type of school she's at. But you're right. If this was D1, it would be a whole different story.
Yeah. Well, not that, well to take. I didn't think of it as a matter of justice. Well, take justice out of it. You know, the whole like D2, D1, D2, D3. It's the thing is with these schools is that Division 1 is kind of considered like high on the priorities because it's like, you know, they're bringing in the most revenue. Even the sports that are not as big, you know, like you know, was it polo, you know, polo, or
Yeah,
you know, or you know,
water polo. I think you're thinking of.
Yeah, polo, water polo, or there's swimming.
Only the really upper crust schools would have actual polo. That's on the courses.
Yeah, rugby. You know,
rugby.
Yeah, you know, that's
the thing.
Yeah, you know, it's like basketball and football. And football are always going to be at the top, and that's something that will never change. And you know, the thing about it is that and also for athletes, you know, D2 D2 is like for like athletes who aren't good enough to make it to D1, and they might have a slim chance to make it to the pros. D3, it's like there's absolutely none, and I can speak from experience because my cousin was an assistant football coach for NIT.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, MIT, and you know, it's like Division 3.
Right.
Yeah, I said like, so I asked him one time. I said, so are any guys you can see on your team that are ready for the NFL level? And he says, no, it's Division 3, man. He says like the Division 3. I mean, there are some players who do make it from Division 3, but their chances are slim and none. And most of the athletes who are on D3, you know, they just go to, you know, for a school like MIT, they just go there. You know, they're on the team just to go to that school, and you know, they don't go to the pros after
right, exactly. But Yeah, that's a good point. Like for the Division 1 schools, it's pretty much they go to the school in order to play the sport. Whereas a lot of lower D3, it really is they're playing the sport, but they went to the school to go to the school. They went to the school, they're playing the sport just to go to the school. Whereas a lot of times D1 and the big name college players that are like as part of the NCAA and all that, it's like they are going to the school just to play the sport. It's completely opposite.
Well, yeah.
I mean,
well, yeah, because some do go to D1s. Some student athletes go to D1s, also for education too.
Right. Some of them are top league schools, and so maybe sometimes they do go to the school, and then decide they want to go to play the sport, whatever.
Yeah, but the thing is the NCAA at the end of the day, it's a business. It's division. Whoever's bringing in the revenue is is going to get the most money. I'm sorry, but that's the business of it. It can't be equal paid for every school or every division. It's not going to be that way for every sport too.
Oh, and we've talked about as well the whole controversy of not paying athletes in the NCAA. There's actually some news on that. A side note here, there is actually news on that. Have you heard?
I think they're doing the bill in California. LeBron James talked about that.
Well, no, I think this is actually nationwide. That it's now that or at least at certain schools, D1 schools, I think it's that the more recognized players can actually now get compensated for their likeness and for their name.
Wow, that's great.
Congratulations. Yeah, congratulations indeed. Because like we've talked about it before. Those names, those and those likenesses, those are like something that make a ton of money for the school, especially in March Madness and whatever. So it's like, so it's like, now at least the ones that really have made it to the top will we'll see the spoils of that. And I think it's great. It's fantastic. And I think it really is, especially something like your name, your likeness, that it really is only fair. That is intellectual. I would say that is intellectual property. My name, that's intellectual property. You know what I mean? And normally you have to sign a waiver to appear on TV or have your well, I guess not to have your picture out there, but that type of thing, my face also, I would say, intellectual property. So they now are finally the ones that are really recognized are going to get compensated for that.
Well, but at the end of the day, it's not going to be. I don't think it'll be equal pay all across. It's going to be for football and basketball, like they are. Right. But as far as like lacrosse, swimming, collegiate wrestling, college baseball, swimming, track and field will come in a strong number 3.
Well, but again, this is of the ones where they sell I almost said paraphernalia, but where they sell merchandise of their name or of their picture, so you do have to be in a highly recognized sport, and you do have to be highly recognized yourself as an athlete to get to the point where they want to use your name or your picture.
And also because like the biggest money they get from is the conference, TV deals. That's why conferences like the Big Ten and the Atlantic 10 and the ACC, the ACC and the Big East. They have their own conferences on with different television networks and stuff like that, and stuff of their own.
Yeah, exactly.
And also the revenue. Attendance gate, from gyms and stuff like that. So it's like, plus football is going to get the most because of those big stadiums and stuff like that. It's like I said before, looking at when Mike Francesca said in the Big East documentary, when they showed how much football makes and how it makes more than basketball, he said, like, look, we can't compete with football,
Right.
Basketball. I mean, in as far as Division One goes, as far as attendance and as far as live gate attendance and stuff, it's and also television ratings because also the bowl games.
Right.
It's like they cannot compete with football.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean that makes obviously I don't like it, but that does make sense. It's also which what do people want to watch, and I think most most people, if they if it's like, okay, well, if I am gonna watch college sport, like regular people are like, am I even gonna watch college sports? But if I do, except outside of March Madness, but if I do, then it's most people it's going to be football.
Oh yeah, I think because it's also the bowl games go, of course, it too. The Fiesta Bowl, which is the national championship, and then there's the Rose Bowl, the Temco Bowl,
right?
The let's see, the Liberty Bowl, the Kraft Bowl. We have the Budweiser Bowl.
You know these pretty well.
The I'm Here in Queer Bowl.
Yeah, I'm hoping for that one day.
Fabulous! Oh, running with the football.
Here we go. I'm sure there are plenty of. Oh, yeah, that's actually going to be one of my. I think my next story will be about. I think. Oh no, hockey. Hockey player came out, but whatever. I'll find some football players too.
Oh, okay. Okay, that sounds pretty good. But hopefully the parents will find some justice and some closure.
Exactly.
So,
going back to it.
So
the main story. Yeah, exactly. When that's and hopefully we all will. You know what I mean? And so it's a good step to to offer the counseling. But that's if this was negligence, then that's a band-aid, and we really need to get to the bottom of this.
Oh yeah, exactly. Get a lawyer and get as much money as you can.
Mm-hmm. Indeed.
And now we're going to end it on a good note because we're going to end this with a fuck, marry, kill.
There we go.
Last time we did the show, it was a fuck, marry, kill for American Horror Story to celebrate their 100th episode.
Yep.
And we're doing another American Horror Story one because tomorrow is their season finale. Yeah,
I can't believe that season. I haven't even started. Believe it or not, 1984.
Well, yeah. So. Wait, do you have Hulu or?
Yeah.
Does the season come up on Hulu yet?
I think it is. It won't come up on Netflix until they get through all that. But yeah, on Hulu it has. So.
Oh yeah, well definitely start watching it from the beginning, man. It's fantastic. Now for the fuck, marry, kill. The last one we had Thaisa Farmiga. I can never pronounce her last name. And we had Leslie Grossman, aka Mary Cherry, and we had Emma Roberts, and those are some pretty good ones.
Yep.
And for this one, here are the characters for. Here are the people from American Horror Story for fuck, marry, kill.
Okay.
We have Sarah Paulson, who's been there from the beginning.
Okay.
Another one who's been there from the beginning, Jamie Brewer. She's the one with Down syndrome.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, she was in season 1. She was in season 3.
House.
Yeah, Murder House. She was in Murder House, The Covenant. She had I think maybe 2 or 3 episodes in Freak Show, and she had a 1 episode appearance in Cult, and then another.
Yeah. Also, with all these, you have to mention what else they might be from.
Yeah, they're from. Yeah, I don't know.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, she's done some independents.
Okay.
And stuff.
What about the first one? Who was it again?
Sarah Paulson.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, she was in. She was in Murder House. Yeah, she was in Murder House, Asylum.
Was she in anything else? Is what I'm saying.
Oh, other than American Horror Story? Yeah, right. She was in She was in the American Crime Story, OJ, People versus OJ.
Okay.
Yeah, she played the Marsha Clark. Yeah, she played Marsha Clark.
Okay.
And she was in some other movies as well, whose names I don't. unfortunately do not come to my mind. But
Okay.
and then we also, and for the third girl, the legendary actress.
All right.
Okay. The legendary actress Jessica Lange.
Oh, Jessica Lange.
Yeah,
Yes,
coal miner's daughter, and that other. She also did some other movies. I mean, she's been in a lot of films. She was also in that movie with Halle Berry, losing Isaiah.
Oh yes, that's right. And then also just recently she was in the Politician on Netflix.
Yeah, another Ryan Murphy.
Yes, Ryan Murphy joint. Okay, I'm gonna look up IMDb for the other two.
Okay. So, all right. So I guess I'll go first as you're looking them up.
Yeah.
Let's see. For fuck. Definitely Sarah Paulson. She's definitely a fuck. I mean, she's also marriage material too, but a fuck because she's also a she's a bisexual. She's currently right now in a relationship with a woman. Yeah, so have a nice little three-way there, a little three-way action. Mary Jamie Brewer, of course. I mean, she's beautiful, and of course, Jamie Brewer was also like I think she was like the first person with Down syndrome to walk a real runway at Fashion Week.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and she has a disability. I have a disability, so kind of would make sense for us to be married. Plus, she's got a big booty too. Yeah, more pushing for the cushion.
Yeah, exactly.
And kill
Ocean's 8, 12 Years a Slave.
Oh yeah, Ocean's 8. Yeah, she was in that one.
Yeah, here. There we go. All right, that's Sarah Paulson.
Everyone knows who she is.
Yeah, I know. But isn't it nice that now we can actually have visuals?
Yeah.
All right, and who's the other one?
Jamie Brewer.
Okay.
Yeah. Kill would have to be Jessica Lange. Well, Jessica Lange, I mean, she's still somewhat beautiful. I mean, you could tell that, all the years of smoking has gotten to her face, and, you can, by looking at her.
Yeah, exactly. Is this her?
Yeah, that's her.
All
right there.
There we go, Jamie Brewer.
Yeah.
Okay.
Jessica Lange, I would definitely, I would still bang her, I mean, it kind of, same thing. It'd just be like, fuck her, and then I'd slit her throat.
All right. So one more time. It was
Sarah Paulson, fuck. Jamie Brewer, Mary, and Jessica Lange, kill.
Okay. Yep. Yeah, that is actually a tough one. That is a tough one there because I can definitely marry at least two of them. But let's see. I think I would. Actually, yeah. So I agree with you. I would fuck Sarah Paulson. Yes, indeed. And then but then I think I'm gonna go the other way. And she looks she looks like a nice marrying type. I'm gonna marry Jamie Brewer.
Yeah, that's what I picked to marry.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I'm actually kind of like torn. I was torn between them anyway. So actually now I think about it, I'm gonna go the other way. I don't want to kill her, but okay, I'm gonna go the other way because Jessica Lange as well. She's just talented, phenomenal, beautiful. So
sexless marriage.
Yeah, exactly. So sexless marriage with Jessica Lange, and then I'm sorry, Jamie, but I would have to kill you.
Yeah, I mean, well, Jessica Lange, she's also very popular amongst the gays as well.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah, but Jamie Brewer, man, people are gonna. Oh man, they are definitely going to throw you in this jail for that one, man.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, American Horror Story, man. I mean, that show is awesome, including the season, the current season right now. And I mean, I can't wait. I'm always waiting for the next one. I mean, I can't wait for the next one. And also, I like what they really done with Leslie Grossman's character, and also Billie Lourd. Yes, Princess Leia's daughter. I mean, she's been Well, yeah, I mean, she's been phenomenal and stuff, and the last 3 seasons she's been on. I mean, she has just been incredible, and you look at her how hot she is, and you still can't get over the fact that not only is she Carrie Fisher's daughter, but she's also what's the grandma, the grandma, the other famous actress.
Oh yes,
Debbie Reynolds.
Yes.
Yeah, that's Debbie Reynolds' granddaughter as well.
Yeah, great. Like basically Hollywood loyalty, Hollywood legacy, passed down through the generations.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And well, I mean, if we ever do another fuck Mary Kill for American Horror Story, we definitely got to put her in there. I mean, I think it's pretty clear what category she'll fit into.
Right, exactly.
Yeah, but getting back to what also to the old one, you said that you'd kill Emma Roberts. I think you said you picked Emma Roberts to kill.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. I mean, because the thing is, like Julia Roberts. I mean, she's not the type to get her hands dirty. She'll definitely hire someone to come after you.
I could see her too. I mean, at least in several of her roles were definitely the type to hire a hitman. So.
Oh yeah. Well, she's got fuck you money. She's got fuck you money from all those years of doing movies and stuff like that. I mean, now unfortunately, Emma's father, Eric. Well, I mean, he's kind of rich, but he's sort of like a B movie actor.
Okay.
Yeah, been a lot of B films and stuff like that. He's more known for being alcoholic and drug addict. And I mean, he's cleaned up his act pretty well. In fact, him and Emma weren't actually speaking to each other for a while. It wasn't until like Emma, I mean, her and Julia weren't speaking for a while, and then Julia had a baby, and then it was like, okay, let's all let's come together and stuff like that.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and and Emma Roberts, man, she really is. Speaking of her, man, I mean, she is a great actress too. I mean, she's come a long way from the movie Blow, the Nancy Drew show. Wait, was it? Yeah, Nancy Drew. Yeah, I think she.
With our last bit of time, I'll look that up as well.
Yeah, and I mean, and plus, you never hear about her, like being a bitch or anything like that, or being spoiled or anything like that. It's like for the most part, you really hear nothing but nice things about Emma Roberts. Yeah, I mean, she really has made the show. I mean, she's made the show American Horror Story much better, and even though she's good at playing a bitch. Yeah, Jessica Lange, she's, I mean, on the season that she's been on, she's pretty much playing an evil person. So that would be another reason to kill her.
Yeah, exactly. I was gonna say, yeah, she and her character on The Politician as well, actually also evil, but in a sickly, like kind of loving way.
Yeah. Also, does she smoke on that show too?
I think so. Yeah.
Oh yeah, because it's like, I know she's a smoker in real life. It's
Unplanned.
Yeah, because
I got some of the things now. The Encounter, Vindication, Unplanned. Any of these because of Garcia. She was in the Hunger Games.
Oh,
okay. Old girl, Insurgent. 2 Hunger Games. Huh.
Right. Emma Roberts was in that.
Yeah.
Wow.
I wonder what she was. Oh, no, she's too old to be the president's granddaughter. Was she?
Well, you know what she looks like, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, but Emma Roberts. I mean, like, wow, I did not know that.
Yeah.
Wait, that's not Emma Roberts.
Oh, Robert.
Yeah, I said Emma. There's no L. It's Emma.
Yeah. Is the wrong Emma Roberts?
Yeah, Emma L. The Emma is just EMMA Roberts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that her?
Yeah, I'm about to say. I was like,
yeah.
No, she was not in Hunger. Yeah, she was in
Okay.
Oh yeah, that Jennifer Aniston. Yeah, that movie with Jennifer Aniston. Yeah, she was. Yeah, I remember being in that one.
Oh yeah, We Are the Millers. Oh, that was fun. That was funny.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's her. All right.
Yeah.
Anyway.
So yeah, but so those are picks for Fuck, Marry, Kills, and can't wait to see American Horror Story, see how it ends. I mean, the 1984 season has just been amazing. It's really a throwback to the thriller films of the 80s, and I mean, of course, it does.
There's a lot of 80s and 90s nostalgia nowadays, and I'm all here for it.
Well, yeah. I mean, speaking of nostalgia, I don't know if you're, but they're bringing back Gossip Girl for the HBO
really
Max.
Nope, I've not heard that.
Yeah, and no, the original actors and actresses will not be there. Only Kristen Bell's going to be there for the narration. They'll bring her back. That's a smart thing,
right?
But I did hear that one of the actresses who played the moms, she says that she'd be down for coming back to the reboot. The others, they reached out to, they're just kind of moved on and stuff like that. Though, never say never. I'm sure later on they'll probably like make a guest appearances or whatever.
Yep. All right, so we're gonna
wrap it up there. We'll be back next week, and also next weekend, not this upcoming weekend, but next weekend, of course, is Ringside with Matt and Gabe. We're going to be looking at the Sugar Ray Leonard versus Wilfred Benitez fight on Facebook. So make sure you watch that. Yep, make sure you watch that. We go live at 3:30 on there. Yep, so from Beantown, New York Town, this is the Beantown Beatdown. Matthew Burris.
Gabe Thomas.
Happy birthday to me.
Whoop, whoop.
Yep.